Welcome to the ripple effect of love for dads and families. Today, in episode 86, talking about breaking the cycle. What does that look like to break the cycle? So, welcome. I'm Christine Bernard, stress management coach, and much more. As you learn to discover how I work and where we're going with all of this, um, my background is life experiences first, and then I started getting some training. So, do you ever feel like you're stuck in the same emotional loop? Whether it be frustration, guilt, anger, stress, overwhelm, it happens to the best of us. I would say most of us, actually, to be very honest. The truth is that these patterns don't just affect you, they impact your kids as well. They impact the people around you. So today we're diving into why certain emotions keep showing up and how to break free from that emotional autopilot. How does that sound? Put a thumbs up in the chat if this sounds great. So, the first thing that we need to look at is how can you, as a dad, recognize emotional patterns in your fatherhood? So, let's take a deep breath. Actually, before I get into that, I did something this morning that I wanted to share with you. Yeah, we'll do it at the end. It's okay. Stick to the end. I wrote something that I think will really help you. It helped me a lot this morning, so hopefully it will also help you. So, one of the first things that I find is very helpful, which I did this morning, was journaling. Yeah, maybe you're not much of a journaling person, and that's okay. However, what if you're journaling about your triggers? So, the first step is to notice, when do I feel frustrated, ignored, overwhelmed, powerless, etc., etc.? Note it. It's always it. Oh, is it always first thing in the morning when you wake up and you hear something? Is it always during bedtime? Is it during conflict? Or is it when you feel disrespected? So, keeping a simple emotion log for 1 week. Don't overthinking. Just write down moments that activated you. You don't need to write a novel. If you want to, go ahead. No worries. But, you know, it could be something like every time my son or daughter talks back, I snap. I realize you can do this after, but if you realize it in the moment, I realize I felt the same way with my dad growing up. So that's a pattern that we unconsciously are stuck in that loop. So we need to name the pattern. Once we've identified, and don't take 10, please take only one to start off, because it might become too overwhelming. You know yourself. If you want to take 10 and go for it, go for it. But I highly recommend start with those mini baby steps and say, okay, what's that one thing that's triggering me the most this week? Triggers my frustration or, my powerlessness. Choose one emotion and notice what triggers that one emotion. That's it. And just, oh, my son talked back. I got triggered. That's it. Okay. Keep it simple. I've been working on keeping things simple because I have a brain that can be quite complex sometimes. And life is so much easier when we can keep it simple. So that's why I like to give little tips that I've learned on the way on how to keep it simple. Okay, so number 2, we're going to name the pattern. So once you notice what it is that is causing this reoccurring emotion or situation. Name the emotional loop. You need to name it to claim it. So, for example, I get irritated when things feel out of control, or I shut down when I feel unappreciated, or there's so many different examples. The point is that when we name our emotions, it helps regulate the nervous system and it allows space between trigger and response so that eventually there's more space and then you've got time to take action before the response comes in. The next step would be to trace the origin. What does that mean? Well, where have I felt this before? Am I reacting as the dad that I want to be? Am I really reacting as the dad that I want to be? Or the child I used to be? When my dad would talk that way or, react that way. Often this happens with us. Our brain has registered, and I've mentioned this way back before when Christian Mendez was here with me sharing his progress and would say, what is it that brought? What is it that your dad would say or do that would trigger you when you were little? And are you unconsciously, because it is unconscious? I know that nobody wakes up in the morning and says, today when my child does this, I will yell at them. Nobody does that. I mean, I don't know anybody who does anyway. And I don't think you do because you wouldn't be here. So breathe in. Now you can use Snap, Tap, and Zap. That's your step number 4. To disrupt that loop, once you start having enough of space between, we talked about that little space. So as soon as you start noticing the trigger, snap just before it clicks in and to snap out of that autopilot when the emotion starts to rise at the very beginning of it as much as you can. And then as you tap to calm your whole nervous system and create space for calmness, right? And then zap that onto the spiraling train, or you've learned the hot air balloon, so that you can zap that emotional charge so it doesn't control your response anymore. How does that sound? So this process, what it does is it rewires the old patterns. Kind of cool. And it builds your capacity to respond rather than react, and to respond from the heart instead of the hurt that's in your mind that you've collected. Because from 0 to 7, that's what I started saying and didn't finish. My apologies, but it's okay. It came back. I'm well guided, even though my memory seems to fail sometimes. It just pops back in. So from 0 to 7, everything was recorded using our 5 senses. And it plays in our unconscious 24/7. Can you imagine? So it's so easy to have that pop out when that same pattern comes up. So that's why we can do the Snap Tap Zap. So I'd like to share a quick example. This might help you. For the dads that are here, moms, spouses, grandparents, uncles and aunts that are with your interacting with your child can also learn all this because it will support your child's journey. So every time my daughter rolls her eyes, I get angry. But when I reflected, I realized I felt dismissed as a kid. Now, snap, tap, zap before reacting. And once my nervous system is calmed down, I can respond with calm, authority if need be, instead of yelling. Maybe calm and with clear boundaries, right? So as soon as your daughter rolls their eyes, snap, relax the shoulders, and exhale that out. And once you feel that your nervous system has calmed down, connect to your heart and say what it is that you want to say from a place of love. And why does this matter? I mean, what's the point of doing all this? When you recognize and shift your emotional patterns, you break the cycle of that reactive parenting. You model emotional intelligence, the EQ, right? The emotional quotient, the emotional intelligence, the emotional resilience. You create a safe space for your child's growth where they feel safe to express themselves even when they make mistakes. That is so important to have that connection with our child. And you become the dad you wish you had, educating your children from a place of love. And if you want help identifying your emotional patterns, book a free discovery call right here. And let's go deeper into the emotions that are holding you back so you can leave with the strength of your heart. Hope this was helpful. But now, my little surprise for you. It's taking me courage, and I'm going to snap, tap, zap so that I dare do this. I don't write like this very often. Well, I do write journal, but I don't share what I journal. So here I go. What magnificent seed are you choosing to plant today? For yourself, for your children. I was mesmerized by the stillness of the lake with the ripples caused by the wild life. A gentle breeze awoke the I'm sorry. Let me just start that over. It's a really messy writing. Wasn't, but I'm going to start over. I was mesmerized by the stillness of the lake with the ripples caused by the wildlife. A gentle breeze awakened the morning life on the lake. Birds chirped happily, going from their cedar tree to the majestic pine tree, catching insects on their way. I breathe in this beauty and nourish my cells of freedom to just be in this moment. Breathing in my lower belly, focused on the ripples on the lake surface, that the ducks gliding, and knowing how important it is for me to continue to create the ripple effect of love in this chaotic political world. Right away, as I wrote that this morning, feeling the stress and tension rise in my body, I consciously breathe in the calmness of the mirror lake that has returned, with the sun shining off it and heating my skin. I reground myself and feel my wisdom to stay connected to just be me, radiating my light that continues to gently create a ripple effect of love for dads and families, sending love, inner peace, so you can align more and more to your own inner wisdom, to your loving heart. Breathe, notice, pay attention, release, and reconnect to your knowing in your beautiful heart. Lovingly, snap, tap, zap the fears. Breathe in the stillness of nature on this quiet, yet filled with nature's joy and excitement. Spring is here. Enjoy new beginnings. What are you birthing today? What magnificent seed are you choosing to plant? And patiently take many actions to align to this new beginning. Hope you enjoyed that. I'm glad I shared it. Whew, it's over. I want you to take great care of yourself. Bring in that self-love. Write it. Take a minute. Take 30 seconds to put it in your calendar right now. When's the best time for you to journal? Is it on the spot? Is it on your way to bed? Is it in the morning as you wake up and the sun shines in and you just take your phone and you write a few things? That's a habit I'm trying to get out of, but that's okay. We all have our own habits and we all have our own way of being that counts for us best. So remember to snap, tap, and zap that stuff onto the train so that you can just be yourself again. With that, take great care, and I will see you tomorrow at 1